But I wanted to be sure to, you know, as we told you guys in the beginning, give you guys an opportunity to be exposed to a variety of people. So I'll let him speak for a few minutes, and then and then you guys can ask him a few questions, and then we'll go from there. So without further ado, Rennie Curran.
Alright, I'm so honored and blessed to be in front of you guys, getting the opportunity to speak to y'all. Anthony reached out to me about last week and, you know, told me about this event, and I, you know, was excited to come here because, you know, it's just a blessing to be able to come here and use your life story to inspire somebody. You know, I feel like God puts us in different places, you know, not so we can brag about it. He doesn't give you ability so you can brag about it, so you can just use it for yourself. I feel like, you know, part of it is the ability of being able to share with others, your ability to be able to influence others that they can do the same thing. And so that's the main reason why I came here to speak to you guys. And I asked him what he wanted me to talk to you guys about, and basically he told me overcoming the odds. And when I look back on my life and when I think about different people, you know, everybody has to overcome some type of odd. You know, if I ask you guys right now something that you had to overcome, I mean, I guarantee I'll get, you know, some of you guys had to overcome sickness, some of you guys had to overcome death, you know, some of you guys had to overcome grades, some of you guys had to overcome a family situation with your family, with your environment. You know, some of y'all might have grown up in the hood. There's just all types of different situations. And for me and for what I've had to go through in my life, you know, one of the odds I had to overcome was just living my dream, you know, which was making it to the NFL. You know, I remember being 10 years old. We were all, you know, on the team sitting down on the ground, and at the end of practice, our coach would, you know, most of the time have somebody from the college or, you know, an NFL player come and talk to us, and he would always say, I'll never forget it, that out of 30 of us that were sitting on the ground, he'd be like, now one of you guys, you know, first he would ask, how many of you guys want to make it to the NFL? And of course, everybody raised their hand, you know, because we all want to get paid. We all, you know, watch TV and seeing Michael Vick and everybody like that. So we'd all raise our hand, and then he'd be like, the next thing he would always say is, now one of you guys might make it to the NFL, if that. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, why not me, you know? But in the back of my mind too, I'm thinking, man, that's you know, that seems like impossible, you know, just one of us. And I can say today, like, he was true. I mean, he was right. He was exactly right about what he was saying, because out of everybody that I played with in little leagues to high school to college, I'm the one guy that made it, you know? And you talk about overcoming odds, like there's so many things that I had to go through, you know, in my life. Just being from 10 years old from that point on. I remember when my little league coach, he took me to my first Georgia game. And I mean, I'll tell you, when I first walked into that stadium, it was just like, you know, I saw my dream. I saw exactly what I wanted to do. I know some of you guys have that vision too. There's so many things that you want to do in your life. There's so many goals. How old are you guys? Y'all, what, about 18? 17, 18, exactly. So y'all getting ready, y'all getting ready to make some huge decisions in your life that are going to affect you for the rest of your lives. Like, believe it or not, don't think just because you're young now, what you do now doesn't matter. Everything that you do now is setting up that foundation for the rest of your life. You know, there are kids that I went to high school with that in this time where y'all at right now, they were smoking weed, they were doing different things, they weren't paying attention when people like me came and talked to them. And now I go back home to my hometown, and they're not doing what they want to do. They got a family now they got to provide for, and they don't have that job that they want. And it's not because they can't do it, it's because of where they were at right now and y'all's time and age and what they did in this time. They didn't make good use of it. So that's why I came here and talked to y'all, to give y'all some foresight, you know, that will hopefully inspire you guys to do something with your lives. Because, I mean, it flies by. I remember being 17, 18 and playing high school football and thinking that was all there was to life, you know, not knowing that I was just at the beginning. I hadn't even accomplished anything yet. And even though I'm in the NFL now, I still have so many other things I want to accomplish. So one of the things I want to talk to y'all about is just being disciplined and being willing to sacrifice. When you hear sacrifice, what does that mean to y'all? Anybody? Yeah, opportunity cost, that's a good one.
Well, it's like a good and bad sacrificing.
Yeah.
So it's like, it varies between the both of them.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's just, you got something?
Alright, when I think of sacrifice, I think of giving up something I have now for something that I want in the future.
Exactly. That's perfect right there. I mean, you got to be willing to sacrifice, guys. Like, I don't care what you're doing. If you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be an actor, whatever you want to do, you got to be willing to sacrifice, and you got to be disciplined. Like I remember so many times where my body was killing me. You know, my friends would be like, let's go to this party. You know, so-and-so would be like, let's get drunk. And I had to be like, nah, man, I got to do this. Like, this is what I want to do. So I got to leave that partying alone. I got to leave that. I mean, I still have fun, but I had to balance it out. You know what I mean? I knew what my family was looking at me to do. I knew what my community was looking at me to do. So, you know, that dream that I had was much bigger than that party for that one night. You know, you got to think about your decisions that you make, how it's going to affect not only you, but how it's going to affect everybody around you. So sacrificing is huge, and I guarantee you guys, if y'all want to sacrifice, there's no better feeling like than, I mean, how many of y'all will one day be able to buy your mother a car cash? Just take her to, you know, any dealership you want and just buy her a car cash. Like, it's the best feeling in the world. I had the opportunity to do that, you know. I had the opportunity to do that. Not to brag or anything, but this is my life. Like, this is what I was able to accomplish because you know, when I was 15 years old, when the coach said, you know, do 200, I put on 225. Just sacrifice, just being disciplined. Years and years and years and years of hard work. When you see guys in high places, you know, you see doctors that are head of their medical facility. You see NFL players. This is years and years and years of sacrifice. You know, you might see the finished product of them being on TV and them having money and them driving nice cars, but I guarantee you, if you talk to them, they'll say they had to go many nights without sleep. They had to go many nights without seeing, you know, their family. You know, they had to spend holidays away. They had to go, you know, they had to spend many sleepless nights. So it's not easy if you want to overcome anything, if you want to overcome an odd. And another thing, besides just being disciplined and sacrifice, is just being determined, being resilient. You know, how resilient, what do you guys think about when you hear resilience? Yep. Anybody? Strength, okay, that's good.
Rubber band ball.
Exactly. Why a rubber band ball?
Bounce back.
Bounce back. Exactly. That's huge. In life, you gotta have resilience, guys. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I heard like I wasn't tall enough. I'm in the NFL now, and I'm still hearing I'm not tall enough to do what I do. You know, you gotta have the resilience. You gotta be determined, because people in life, people are negative. You know, especially people who aren't trying to accomplish the same thing that you want to accomplish, or people who aren't successful. They're gonna be negative. You know, some of you guys have dreams and stuff that nobody has ever accomplished, and I guarantee you, even sometimes if you tell your family or something, some of them are gonna be like, man, I don't know. Like, you might just want to do this. You know, they try to steer you off your dream. You know, I even had in high school, one of my coaches was like, Rennie, don't be surprised. You know, if the big schools in Georgia don't come at you fast, because you know you're a little undersized. You know, I had to hear things like that over and over, but I turned it around and I used it as something to motivate me. You know, I used it as something to drive me instead of, you know, getting down on myself and starting to believe, you know, what people were saying, because I knew, you know, that with God I could accomplish anything, you know. And you gotta have that inner strength, guys, because it gets tough. You know, when I was in my sophomore year at University of Georgia, my high school sweetheart, she got pregnant with my little girl, who's 4 years old now. And when I tell you some of the things people were saying, you wouldn't even believe it. People were like, "Oh, he's done. You know, his career is over. This, that. You know, the worst things is what I was hearing." But you know what? I turned that situation around, and I bounced back. You know, I was like, this is not gonna bring me down. This is gonna make me stronger. This is gonna be something that I use to make me focus even harder, because I know another life is dependent on me. You know, I know somebody is watching me, so I gotta make it now. You know, I have no choice but to make it. So that's the biggest thing. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with, besides just being, just having that resilience, is your relationships. You know, who do you surround yourself with on a daily basis? That is huge. If there's any part to play in overcoming an odd, I think relationships is one of the biggest things. You know, you start with your family situation. You know, that's your foundation right there. What goes on at home, I mean, that's part of what makes, you know, I feel like 75% of who you are is what you learn in your home. And then just your friends, think about it. What are your friends doing? You know, do you surround yourself with people that challenge you, or do you surround yourself with people who are below you to make yourself feel better? You know, so many people do that to give themselves validation, to feel better about themselves, instead of surrounding themselves with successful people that are already where they see themselves. You know, that's one reason why Anthony's one of my mentors. He's, I mean, well accomplished, well spoken. That's somebody who I see myself, you know, emulating after. Has a beautiful family. Like, I would love to you know, have a little boy, beautiful family, beautiful wife one day. You know, it's an awesome thing to see. And, you know, you got to surround yourself with people like that. I mean, business owners, whatever. If you want to be a nurse, find yourself a nurse and let that be your mentor. Let that be somebody who drives you, somebody who you talk to on a daily basis. Just pick their brains. You know, somebody who's successful is going to want to see somebody else be successful. Always remember that. Somebody who's a failure is not going to want to see you be successful. They're going to bring you down to their level. Because anytime you're more successful than somebody who's a failure, they're going to feel threatened. You know, think about that, guys. So always surround yourself with just great people and your family. I don't care, like, where you go, up, down, your family is going to be there no matter what. You know, right now, most of you guys don't know it, but I'm a free agent. I'm not even playing right now. You know, I'm going through my own odds that I have to overcome right now. Because I was drafted 3rd round. Everything was great. Everything was going good. Everybody was blowing up my phones. You know, I had people coming after me, agents, financial advisors, different things like that. People wanting money, different things. I ended up getting, my head coach ended up getting fired after my rookie year. And so I ended up getting cut after my after my rookie year, which is unheard of. For a 3rd round draft pick to get cut after his rookie season is unheard of. So I came back here, came back home, went back to training, week in, week out. Week 8 came up, and I finally got a call from Tampa Bay. And basically I went there, got another opportunity. And when I say the same exact thing pretty much happened, the same thing happened. The coach got fired, new coaching staff came in, draft picks were picked, you know, different things happened. So right now I'm back home and I'm training again, you know, resilience. I'm back at it again. I'm not letting the situation I've been through get me down. I know that within time, it's only a matter of time that I'm going to get that next call. And, you know, I'm sure you guys are going to see me eventually on TV. I'm going to be playing. And I'm going to be like, I remember he came and talked to us. So, hey, that's what I'm saying. Whatever you want to do in life, you gotta stay focused on it. You gotta just make up your mind and do it. That's what I did. I left myself no other options. That's what you gotta do. If you want to do something, don't leave yourself any other options. Don't leave yourself with any excuses at all. Make up your mind and do it. You know, work hard. And I'm not saying it's gonna be easy. Like I said, you gotta be disciplined. You gotta be willing to sacrifice. You know, because you're gonna have those days where your body's aching. You're gonna have those days where you don't feel like getting out of bed. You know, but you gotta just continue to keep your mind focused on that finish, on that goal. You know, don't ever. I mean, it's real easy to do, but while you're going through something, don't focus on that situation. Focus on the process that it's gonna take to get to your goal. Focus on that goal, the finish line. You know what I mean? So I'm just blessed. I'm glad that I was able to come and talk to you guys. If y'all have any questions for me, y'all are welcome to ask. Does anybody have any questions? All right. You can go. Yeah.
What's your name?
Oh, Rennie Curran. Yeah, Rennie Curran. Yep.
You weren't listening when I said it earlier.
It's all right. Yep.
Alright, so what position did you play?
I play linebacker. Yeah, linebacker. Yep. So,
What do you major in at UGA?
I'm at UGA. I majored in business management. And actually, I have 40 hours left because I left early, so I'm going to be going back this spring to take some classes while I'm training. Yeah.
Okay, this is just dealing with sports, period.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Syracuse next year.
Okay.
And I'm trying to walk on in basketball.
Yes.
This is about the training thing. Like, what would you say to a young brother about getting ready to play on a collegiate level after playing in high school and not being that recruit that he's looking for, but you could be an impact to the team?
Hey, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the perfect situation about overcoming odds. Like, you gotta already know, like, you're gonna have it harder than anybody else because number one, you don't have a scholarship. Those guys who are going in with a scholarship are gonna get preferential treatment. That's just how it goes. Yeah. So you gotta already know that you're gonna have to go over and above. That's exactly what I talk about. Like when my coach would tell me, put 200 on, I'm doing 225. Just little things like that to set yourself apart. Like, you gotta be willing to you know, if everybody's running 10 laps after practice, you gotta do 12. That's just what it's gonna take. You know, for you to stand out, you're gonna have to go over and above. You know, and that's what I had to do. because I was undersized, I had to sacrifice in the weight room. I had to be faster than everybody. When they watched me on film, they had to be like, hey, who's that dude? You know, even though they'd be like, he's undersized, my numbers spoke for itself. So nobody could ever deny me, you know. That's it.
Okay, so how was your college life at UGA?
Man, it was a good time. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, we had fun. We had fun at UGA. It was great. And that's an awesome thing to be a part of, because once you're done, if you're gonna live here in Georgia, why not go to University of Georgia? You know, you got a huge alumni, different things like that. But being an athlete there, well, we did have fun, but it was like a job. I'll tell you our schedule right now. We had study hall in the morning at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock or whatever. Class was usually from 9 to 12. We had lunch, you know, from 12 to 1. Practice or film, we had to watch film from about 1:30 to like 3 o'clock. And after that, you got practice from 3 o'clock to like 6:30. You take a shower, you get dinner, you got study hall again for tutors. And by the time you get back to your room, it's like 9 o'clock. So it's like an everyday job. So just because you see guys playing college football and stuff like that and it's looking all glamorous, those guys go to work. I mean, it's tough. It's not easy at all, you know. But it's definitely a great university to go to.
Well, I had went to UGA, but I had went to UGA for Project Grad for 3 weeks, and well, I experienced it. I liked it or whatever so far, but it like for like academics and scores, it's very like rigorous.
Oh yeah, it's tough. Like you're gonna be in class with with kids who came out and were the top in their high schools academically, so it's very, very challenging. But it's gonna be great. It's, like I said, a great alumni to be a part of, because no matter where you go, you're gonna find somebody from University of Georgia.
Yeah.
Number one right now.
That's where you going? All right. I'll be looking out for you.
You agree, brother? You can agree, brother?
Silly, but is it painful in football too? Because y'all have to keep in full force and a big amount of size and body man. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, I love the game, but the game definitely doesn't love my body. I mean, you gotta put yourself through a lot. I mean, you just get in the weight room, putting 400 plus pounds on your back and squatting it. I mean, it's not easy at all, But it's a great feeling being able to go out on the field and just hit somebody at full speed.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Stand over them, get hyped. It's a great feeling. But afterwards, I'm talking. You gotta get in the ice tub. I mean, there's stuff out there that I use to regenerate my body, recover faster, that you guys probably have never heard about. Have you guys ever heard about hyperbaric chamber?
Yeah. It's like
like it's basically like a little tube you get in that pumps pure oxygen into your body, which helps your molecules recover faster, different things like that. But it's definitely tough on your body. I mean, we have to have nutritionists, you have to have sports doctors, chiropractors, massage therapists. So it's a lot, but that's what comes with doing what you love. Sometimes you got to be willing to endure those things.
All right. You said you gained 225. They wanted you at 200. They wanted at 225.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get 220, but I ain't trying to get big.
I'm just giving an example.
Yeah. But I'm trying to get 220 before I go to college.
Okay.
I'm 205 now. How did you gain them extra pounds? Like, because it's really hard. Cause I hit the weight room like every day.
Yeah, I mean it comes with time, man. And the biggest thing I tell guys when they ask about size, is just to make plays, man. Like that's what's gonna get you on the field more than anything, or get you on the court. Because you can be as big as you want to be, but if you can't play, ain't nobody gonna put you out there. They want you. Those coaches are trying to win games. So if you go out there and you're productive, and you're bringing a leadership value to the team, and you're bringing different things that the normal guy, the next scholarship guy isn't bringing, eventually, if that coach really wants to win, he's gonna put you in. He's gonna have no choice. So just always keep that in mind. Like leave them no choice but to choose you. Anybody else?
like I know you had your motivation, coming with your daughter, because you see that's the support system. Like you have to support her.
Yeah.
So like knowing that you're a free agent, and I say like when I used to play basketball, and I'm gonna go to college, and I'm planning on walking on to a team, so I'm doing everything I can now.
Yeah.
But I say like, people not really seeing you and telling you a whole bunch of stuff. Like, how did that like keep you? What kept you lifted and like trying to like prove all the people wrong?
I mean, number one, just my faith, man. Like that's the main thing that really kept me going. Honestly, you know, there's a situation in life that you go through that nobody can help you with. You know, that no money can help you out of. That knows, I don't care what anybody says to you, is not gonna get better unless you got a relationship with God. You know, so that's the biggest thing that helped me, man.
You had just said like something about values. Like,
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, when you're a football player, what are some of the things you learn on and off the field?
You learn some of the things that you learn on and off the field. I mean, like as far as just
Like life stuff.
I mean, you talking about like what football teaches you?
Yeah.
I mean, football teaches you a lot of different things. Number one, I feel like the biggest lesson football teaches you is how to deal with adversity. You know, how to deal with sudden change. You know, there's so many situations that you put in in the game of football where your back is against the wall. It might be, you know, 3rd and 2 and the game's on the line and you got to bow up. You know, you got to stop that guy from beating you, you know, from crossing that line. And so you got a group of guys that have to collectively be on the same page, you know, have to become men together, you know, in order to accomplish one goal, you know, which is to win the game. So it teaches you a lot about life, how to work with others, you know, how to overcome when things aren't going your way, you know, how to respond to those things. So it definitely teaches you a lot of life lessons.
One final question.
Yeah.
How much you bench?
My last match was 470.
God.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What does that mean?
Oh,
My
bench,
match.
where you lay down and
Oh,
like that.
My match 225.
is that a lot?
He beat me.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on.
So
How you keep your emotions in check when you're at home because you know you got all this adversity in your life.
yeah.
Once you go on that field, it's like you want to just bless somebody. Like all those emotions run into you.
Mhm.
So like when you go home and you know just take some time and just think,
Yeah.
what emotions come out of you, like, and how do you control those emotions?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's definitely tough, but you got to remember, like, and that's with anything that you do in life, like, you got to remember that what you do, you know, your job title, or if you're a football player, that's not who you are as a person. You know, that's just something you do. That's something that God bless you to do, but that doesn't mean that, you know, just because I'm hitting people on the field and I'm angry all the time, I have to take that off the field and be angry as a person too, you know. And I feel like a lot of people get that mixed up. They might be police officers or they might be CEOs of a company, so they might think that they can treat people however they want because they have that title and everything, which is wrong. You know, you got to be able to separate the two, and you got to stay true to yourself, you know, because at the end of the day, when you take that uniform off, when you take, you know, when you walk out that office, when you get out that car, out those clothes, you're still a human being, you know. You still just like the next guy. It don't matter if he's a janitor or what, you know. So I've always kept that in mind and tried to use that to guide how I, you know, look at myself and how I treat people. That's it.
Let's thank Mr. Curran for it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Don't tell me that.
No, I'm serious. All right, you know, again,
Thank you guys. Good luck.
Rennie, do someone want to take a picture with you?